Was that one of you guys?
That man was as plain to me as if I'd been standing right beside him.
Felt frightened to be here alone.
Whoa, what the heck?
What the heck is going on?
Soon after the Civil War, with a beef shortage in the northern states, Texas ranchers began the era of long cattle drives, and Kansas was the destination for many of those drives. For the next 20 years, hundreds of thousands of Texas Longhorns were driven each year, and Ellsworth, Kansas was right in the middle of the booming cattle trade. When one thinks of cattle drives, saloon-filled streets, and women and booze that were as easy to get as being shot, you might think of Dodge City or Abilene, Kansas. Truth is, Ellsworth, Kansas, while not as famous, was known 150 years ago as the wickedest cow town in the West. So it stands to reason that with this bustling new town, it was the end of the trail for many Texas cowboys and their cattle. The cattle market brought in thousands, including its fair share of gamblers, outlaws, gunslingers, and prostitutes. Numerous people were killed and murdered, banks were frequently robbed, and officers of the peace gunned down in the streets of Ellsworth. Just south of the tracks, on the end of Main Street in this once wild and woolly town, sits the Hodgden House. Built in 1878, this Dakota sandstone home was considered the grandest residence in all of Ellsworth County. Perry Hodgden, his wife Phoebe, and their 6 children all occupied this home, specifically built to be lived in and enjoyed by every member of their family and to be shared with friends and neighbors. While the elegance of the Hodgden House and all the lavish parties that were held there, it was certainly in stark contrast to the hell breaking loose on the other side of the tracks. The Hodgden House ownership changed hands no less than a dozen times until the Ellsworth County Historical Society purchased it in 1963. Since then, over the past 5 decades, there have been numerous reports of strange occurrences.
Last summer, when we were short of help, I came and volunteered as a board member, actually, and began working here on Sundays. And I tell you, during a thunderstorm, this was the place to be. You were never alone. You never felt like you were alone. I never actually visually saw anything in any one of the buildings. However, you could sit in the office and hear people walking above you. Sometimes it sounded like heels, sometimes it sounded like men's boots. Sometimes the music box in the parlor would just begin to play. It was in the off position, but it would begin to play. I always thought with that one, that there might be a scientific explanation. It's spring-loaded, so I never really gave that much thought. Anytime you go up in the rooms and you know you have gone through a door, closed the door, turned off the light, left all the windows down, everything is good, I think something likes to tell us that we don't belong to this house, that they do, because then we'll go back, the window might be open, the light might be on, and the door's open. Sometimes you feel like something's following you out of the room. I've never once felt frightened to be here alone. When I was giving a tour, we heard just a loud crash, like something had dropped, and then something scattering like marbles. And we came in and there were cherries everywhere. But there were some things that were standing up, and it looked like something had just gone through and knocked things over. And I can only liken it to my cat going up on the table, and it just looked like a trail was like something had knocked some things over.
Former Hodgden House volunteer Kathy Coles experienced something in the house that still makes her skin crawl to this day.
Started walking down the hall, and I thought, what in the world is that guy doing in there? And I just quickly stopped and backed up, just had to take one step to get back to the doorway to get looked in there, and he was already gone. But he was a tall man, well-dressed with a kind of a light brown suit. Then I have always wondered who that might have been.
Do you think the distinct possibility that could have been Perry Hodgden, perhaps?
I am not too familiar with his physical appearance about at that time, so I wouldn't know for sure. But the fellow just seemed to be standing there, kind of leaning against the piano, and he was looking right at me.
Greg, do you know anything about the physical features of Perry Hodgden? Was he tall?
Yeah, he was tall, slender, very striking businessman. Like, in fact, I'm going to go get a picture.
Well, I'm looking at a picture that Greg brought in of Perry Hodgden.
Uh-huh.
And he's wearing a suit. It's a black and white picture, so but it's a lighter colored dark suit. I guess maybe like a gray.
Like a light brown.
Yeah, it could be and he's wearing a bow tie. Just kind of deep dark eyes, it looks like, too. So when you backed up and looked and there was nobody in there, do you know at that time, since it's been 10, 12 years ago, were there any lamps or anything like that would have been tall that maybe your eyes thought was a person, but it was actually maybe could have been a floor lamp or something?
No, absolutely. That man was as plain to me as if I'd been standing right beside him.
One evening, after everything's closed up, I had come down to bring some paperwork over from Fort Harker, and so I came in with a friend of ours. She came with me, and she's standing in another room while I go in the office. When I come out, she said, "Well, there's a cat just run through there." And I said, "What do you mean you saw a cat? There's no cat in the building." She said, "Yeah, there's a cat." I said, "Well, where did it go?" And she pointed to this door here coming into the kitchen. So I came and I looked behind the door. I looked under everything. I looked at all the cabinets, behind the stove, under the stove, in the stove. There was no cat in here. But she swears that there was a cat that ran into this room.
Neil, can you hear me?
If you can move that camera down just a little bit more.
So I think we just start with the obvious. Perry Hodgden. Are you with us tonight, sir? I want to compliment you on a beautiful home that you built, that many people have enjoyed over the years. Is it okay that we are here?
Perry, can you please let your presence be known to us this evening, if you are with us?
Perry or whoever may be with us tonight, on the table here in the middle of the room, the orange light you see is a voice recorder. It's not going to hurt you. You don't have to touch it. The device that Neil just placed on the table, it's a proximity device. In other words, you don't have to actually touch it, but you can get close to it and it'll sound off an alarm. Just let us know that you're here, and it's not going to hurt you. Can you use that device for us, please? Let us know that you're here tonight. About 10 years ago, a person by the name of Kathy was working in this museum, and she came in the front door, and as she was walking down the hall, she caught out of the corner of her eye a man standing over here by the piano. Tall, thin, light brown suit, very distinguished looking. Perry Hodgden, it sure sounded a lot like you based on the picture.
Do you or your wife play the piano? Some people have heard beautiful piano music and have enjoyed it. Was that you playing the piano, or your wife, or one of your children?
I would love to hear that phonograph play right now.
Even if it's just one note.
We've heard and read that there were many parties hosted in this house, and people really enjoyed being invited over here for those parties.
Oh, the door to the clock I think opened.
About 8:50 p.m.
It did.
Oh,
That's
the
what
clock,
it sounded like.
the door of the clock opened.
We didn't really move.
No, we've been standing still.
So Perry, did you do that?
The thing is, it's opened on us before, but that's when we've been in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and walking on a certain floorboard that would set that off. That's
Well, it's never opened that far.
So there's also been claims of hearing a baby. Perry, do you know anything about that? Or is it one of the past other residents that lived here? If you could give us any kind of sign that somebody is with us. Can you walk across the floor?
K2 hit.
K2 hit.
Big one.
Was that our...
That was a huge one.
Yeah, that's C's.
So we just asked you to give us a sign that somebody's with us. Thank you.
Is there a mother here?
Were any of your children born in this house?
That light won't hurt you. You can touch it again. So we were talking about hearing a baby. And that's when I asked for a sign. If anybody that's with us. So was that you telling us that whoever's with us also has contact with the baby sound?
Well, this was one of the premier homes of Ellsworth. It's the first really elegant home in Ellsworth, it sounded like. Lots of entertainment, lots of fun times with children and friends coming in and out to...
You hear beat too.
I did hear something go.
The sound heard was a trigger device in the archive room where there was no static camera.
There's a ring going off or something. Is there a ring upstairs?
Not a room, it's just our motion detector.
It wasn't motion.
Oh, I did put my trigger
There was
prop
a beep.
in on a little metal toy up in the kids' room.
Can blame Neil.
Oh, darn it, Neil.
I know.
All right. So is there anyone with us tonight? You can communicate through this device. If you talk to us, we'll hear you.
Who's turning on the phonograph?
The device won't hurt you. If you can talk through it, please. Let us know your presence. Are you trying to talk to us?
A little piece of equipment with the blue light. It will give you energy so you can talk. If you need to use it, please.
It's okay, you can talk to us. None of this will hurt you.
Can you tell us how many are in the parlor right now? How many of us are in the parlor right now?
Is it okay that we're here? You can say yes or no. Don't know if you like the people being here or not. I know there's a lot of people that go through this house. And maybe you don't like that and want to be left alone at times. I hope it's okay that we're here tonight.
Almost sounds like something's trying to come through.
That's what it sounds like. Are you trying to tell us it's okay that we are here?
I hope we didn't intrude on a party. Does anyone need our help? A little bit. Can't make it out.
We need you to try harder, please.
Are you trying to communicate with us now?
We would gratefully appreciate you.
And trigger prop again.
Did you hear it?
For sure did.
If you're the one turning on the lights, it's okay. We're just wanting to find out if it is somebody actually doing that. And who
You
it
know?
is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead and finish.
They're just saying, and who it is. You just tell us the name.
Do you know if there are some children upstairs playing?
Would you be more comfortable with fewer people in here?
Just not quite loud enough that we can hear you good.
There are plenty of devices to get energy from. Just keep trying, experiment, and see which works best.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, I'll stop whispering. I think we're gonna shut this down and just listen to the house.
I'm hearing what sounds like movement upstairs, like somebody walking around.
Is there someone upstairs?
They brought you a teddy bear to play with. It wouldn't have been a teddy bear. I don't know what it would have been.
Stuffed animal or...
A toy.
Do you like toys?
Was that you?
What?
That talked?
Did you hear like?
Yeah?
I heard something.
That wasn't you, Steve?
No, that
I
wasn't
thought
me.
it was him. I
thought it was Steve too.
This was the first disembodied voice we captured on both our camera and audio recorders. Based on the reactions of C and Kevin, the voice appeared to have originated somewhere within the parlor.
There was definitely right in my left ear. There was
right beside me. I mean, it sounded like it was right.
it was like that. So you heard it too.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we have 3 people.
And I didn't hear it.
It's right by you.
What the heck?
Well, it sounded like your voice.
We all mean well. And we're not here to remove you from this home. We are not here to take over your home.
I heard something that came upstairs.
Did you hear anything out there, Neil?
No.
It's like I was trying
Like a thumb? Yeah, I heard it.
Couldn't hear him out there.
Okay.
So whoever made that noise, can you do it again? Please communicate with us and tell us your story. Mean no harm.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That
I heard
wasn't
it.
you? I heard
No.
What was?
Almost sounded like a whistle to me.
Yeah,
Neil, did you hear anything?
it sounded like it.
What the heck?
Like that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yet another investigation where a whistle is heard by the team.
So again, we're talking about,
A baby.
or maybe a death of an infant.
Would you like us to move on to a different room?
So if there is, or would happen to be anyone or anything attached to any items in here, this is your chance to communicate with us, the outside world.
It would be no harm. We're here just to talk to you. This is probably the first time somebody's actually trying to communicate. A lot of old items in this building.
We've set a few strange things on your table. I hope you don't mind. Those are just to help us talk to you. They are strange. They're lights, but they will not hurt you. So feel free to examine them.
Did you used to cook in this kitchen? Prepare some delicious meals for your family or for guests? Can I make a request, please? I have a hankering, big time, for a homemade cherry pie. Do you think you can make me a cherry pie today? We come here in utmost respect.
Do you hear anything?
Periscope is going.
Which way is it going? I can't see.
It just kind of went around and it stopped. Well, thank you.
Could you do that again?
Can you light that up again for C, please? And myself?
I didn't get to see you do that. I would like to see that, please.
Because as you can tell, that didn't hurt. None of our devices that are in here are going to hurt you.
A strange, inaudible EVP was captured in the kitchen moments after the half-scope lit up. As far as EVPs go, it appears this was a long sentence. Here's the replay.
So our gadgets will not hurt you. They may be a little strange, a little different to you, but they are not dangerous or there's nothing about them that will hurt you.
So we should probably introduce ourselves. I'm Kevin from Old School Paranormal.
I'm Melinda. I'm a member of the Historical Society Board. Thank you so much for allowing us to come in. I've been in here before and it's a very peaceful place.
Yes, thank you for letting us be here tonight.
My name's Neil. I'm also a member of Old School Paranormal.
We're just here to find out if everybody's with us this evening. You might still be in this building. We mean no harm, complete respect to the building, anybody who resides here. Beautiful church. There's probably a lot of both joy and sadness in this church.
Reverend Buchanan, are you here with us tonight?
Can you give us a sermon? Guess that's the building creaking.
And maybe rain dripping too. It's from the front door up there. Area. Yeah, it's just from the door. Must be trying to walk us in. I know as blacks in the late 1800s, I know it was probably a very tough life. Did you feel privileged or grateful that you were given a place to worship or work to get a place to worship in Ellsworth County?
So Stephen C., we are in the children's room.
There's lots of toys. Is anyone here that any of these toys belong to? Or Is anyone here who are in any of the pictures that are here in the room?
Periscope. Are you walking over to me? Huh.
You may talk to us. We would like it if you would talk to us and see as you moved around that you weren't hurt by that light. So go ahead and make it do that again if you would like.
Yeah, the gadget won't hurt you at all.
It's just kind of another toy.
Yep. Is that okay that we're in here?
If we are intruding on you, we apologize. We do not mean to,
Absolutely.
and we don't mean to invade your home.
And that's why I've asked a couple of times now, if it's to the point where you want us to leave, then you need to tell us, and then we will leave. Give us a sign.
Well, I'm sitting up here in the archive room of the Hodgden House. Things have been relatively quiet tonight. Kevin, Melinda, and I went to the livery stable. It's very, very quiet. Very calm. We went to the church as well. No activity, very calm, very soothing. It's a beautiful church. Other than that, I'm really quiet.
If anyone is here in this room, if you are a lady or a woman, could you please make one of the lights light up? It's okay just to touch it. Or even go near it and it will light up. If you're a gentleman or a man, you're in this room with me, would you make one of these gadgets light up? They're very safe. They will not hurt you. Ah, so are you Mr. Huggins? Are you Mr. Perry? Is this your room? There's another gentleman coming upstairs. Ah, yes, are you right beside me?
Steve, setting up everything again.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Whoa, what the heck?
There is a gentleman in this room with me. We've established that it's a gentleman.
Am I intruding? Do I need to leave the room? My apologies if I intruded, sir.
Got a little music here from the 20s. Did you like that music?
Melinda's joining Kevin in the kitchen.
Oh, sounds good. Never been here at night this late.
No.
The only reason we do stuff at night is to keep, because usually places are during. Well, it's
Nobody's
quiet
here.
and nobody's here. Yep. No business going on. And,
Well, and the streets around are quieter too.
Yes.
Yes.
What are you guys up to?
Oh, I was upstairs.
You were?
You were?
Who's outside? Anybody outside?
Steve's over in the livery stable, I think.
Did he just
Who's
walk
out
by? I mean, is he just up front?
I don't
He
know.
might be.
Like out on that porch or?
Probably about 5 minutes ago, or maybe 3 minutes ago, there was somebody that walked by.
And then was just standing
when,
up there.
Was that you?
Melinda and I were coming downstairs. No, I was over in the parlor for a while, and I went back upstairs.
Hey, did you walk by the front of the house probably about 3-4 minutes ago?
Ooh.
Where are you at? So, you've been inside for the last 5-10 minutes?
Then who was out there?
Seriously. Okay, we're sitting in the kitchen.
Now I've got goosebumps.
And we're looking, north, and what is that? The side,
It's like a side porch.
like the side porch, and there was a person.
Up there you go.
Okay, right there, I see you.
Are you
Were
there
you?
now?
Did you just do that a little bit ago?
I just walked in front of the porch and I'm waving my arms now.
Oh, but like 5 minutes ago?
Okay, but 5 minutes ago, there was a person that walked by that was closer to the door, and it was just a shadow.
No, not me.
Okay, yeah, because it was a lot larger than you.
Yeah.
It would have been up close, and so it would have went into the house. It was a lot larger, so it would have been closer. Can you get up on the porch?
Yeah.
And it went from east to west, so it went into the parlor, basically.
Yeah.
I'm up on the porch now.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
About right there, that's exactly what it looked like, with about your size, and it went from east to west.
If you walk forward.
So if you go to the west, you're going into the house, correct?
You want some?
No, I'm right by the door, right off of the
Yeah, you would have went into the parlor, right?
skeletal mapping is.
Okay, so if you face the west and walk, you would walk into the wall, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, well, what we saw just went into the wall.
Okay.
Okay, now
Melinda saw it
worried about
too.
a little bit. I have goosebumps now.
Okay, I think so, but I'm gonna go try to recreate what we saw. Hey Steve, you wanna come back here?
Oh boy.
Yep, that would have been right here, but it would be about where he walked in, or is.
Well, it would have walked in
Right where the piano is,
right where the
basically.
piano is.
Yeah.
Feel free to come in and enjoy the music. Maybe somebody can join in playing the piano.
Or start the music box, or the phonograph too. Yeah, there's a piano right there.
I wouldn't have the energy to dance to this.
After no activity was generated by the 20 Era's music, the team decided to determine if there was a plausible explanation for the shadow figure seen from the kitchen just a few minutes earlier. Steve went to view the side porch of the home to determine how far the window-plated door was from the corner of the porch.
No, there's a flower bed, and then it kind of comes out. You have to step up on the step, and then that was a person.
Oh, it was. Oh,
I would
something
say
like a person.
from the edge of the door to the wall of the house, I don't know, 10 inches or so.
That'd be pretty hard. You'd have to
Oh, yeah, you'd have to
hug the wall.
all the way. Somebody'd have to go through a lot of work to try to.
And it would have to be a situation where they knew that shadow was being cast in a certain way.
And people were actually in there watching it.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, some of the claims we really haven't been able to experience. You know, piano playing, phonograph playing, any sign of a cat or an animal or
A baby.
a baby.
But, you know, like all those, it seems that from what we've heard is there's 1 or 2 people at a time in the house, maybe.
So we might have
When I
been.
was over here, I actually kind of shook that table and stuff a little bit to see if I could get the phonograph to kick on it. I mean, I didn't shake it real hard,
Take it
but
out.
no.
So
But you know, this
what
is-
did
this
make
is a
it start
different
playing? Did
feeling.
you guys start it that one time?
Oh, I actually touched it
Oh.
and it moved. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I did that first time. But I mean,
God. Okay.
but we've been walking in and out through here all
Right.
all day and all night, and that's not.
And then, you know, I thought, well, maybe at that point, we all felt the train come through. The house was shaking. I mean, not bad, but you could feel it shaking with the train
Right.
coming through town. And then I got thinking, well, maybe that was
Thank you.
See, that's what would happen when I was sitting in the office. It would just play just a little bit,
But
and
again,
I just,
maybe it
I'd
was.
think, oh, that was nice.
But I'm thinking, you know, maybe a train just shook the house enough where that was just on the edge of just going to the next
Oh, I never thought about
sprocket or
that.
whatever that is that makes it
That
go.
makes good sense.
But I don't know. I mean, when C and I were upstairs in that master bedroom when the train came through, and I think you 3 were out at the bar or something, and
We're not doing something.
and didn't hear that thing go off. But I don't know.
We've been walking around here.
See, that's what I was trying to see if I
Opening,
maybe
closing
set
the
it off
front
that
door and
just a little bit of left of the song or something.
Mm-hmm.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
I think for this investigation, probably.
Yeah. We
So
definitely need
next
to do
time
a
we won't
follow up.
focus on a cat so much as a baby.
Yeah.
This gives, we didn't, yes, we have, have heard the stuff, but I think once we go through the evidence and find what we found tonight, then we can focus maybe on some areas that we think.
Next
Yeah,
time,
But
absolutely.
I always think when you guys come, I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't want to mislead you. I don't want to misguide you.
Oh,
I don't want to give you any preconceived ideas.
I like to know that because the first thing that goes through my mind is like, okay, that bowl of those cherries in there, okay, was a window open and maybe a gust of wind, or what could have just? I mean,
Yeah, you want to find out.
yeah,
what
a
else
logical
could have caused it,
explanation.
yeah.
So did we, me and that fella.
I'm
and we
sure.
went in there and we
Yes.
were looking. That was our
Yep.
first goal, was to find out.
Heavenly Father, thank you for guiding and protecting us tonight. Please guide and save those who have stayed behind and still reside here according to your will. To entities residing here, you are not allowed to attach to anyone here or our equipment. You're not allowed to leave this location with us. You're to go where Jesus Christ tells you to go, for it is He who commands you. Also, Heavenly Father, we ask you see us safely home from this location. Protect us on our journey home. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So as we wrapped up the Hodgden House investigation, we were not able to experience some of the claims reported over the past few decades, like a baby crying or a cat running in the house, not even Perry Hodgden himself standing in the parlor, or the phonograph playing on its own. But we did experience several EVPs, unusual noises, a mysterious shadow figure, and several spikes of our equipment. It's hard to say if any former residents of the Hodgden House are lingering around, just waiting to tell someone their story. If anyone still resides at the Hodgden, we're sure that they are very pleased with how the Ellsworth County Historical Society is maintaining their home.